Hi there, and welcome to our very first video blog for Cooking Planit. My name is Emily and I'm the executive chef for Cooking Planit. So for those of you who are already familiar with our site, hopefully you've been enjoying some of the recipes that you've been making at home. And for those of you that are new to Cooking Planit and just getting familiar with it, we're hoping that this video blog will inspire you to start cooking with Cooking Planit, check it out, see what kind of recipes we have, and also what kind of meals you can prepare from those recipes. We're all about the full meal, you know, so not just one recipe, but a complete balanced dinner ready all at the same time. So hopefully you'll check it out. In honor of our first inaugural video blog, I was thinking about what I would prepare and what would I bring to you. And I decided just to keep it simple. So I chose a meal plan that is actually already available on the website. It's called Crazy Quick. And I called it that because the recipes in it are all kind of, I think, things that people probably associate more with what they would order if they went out to a restaurant, and maybe not necessarily something that they would try to prepare at home for themselves. So, but the recipes are actually all quite simple, and I just felt like it's kind of a crazy idea that all these great recipes can be ready so quickly and so easily. So check it out on the website or on your app. It's called Crazy Quick, and you can follow along right now if you like, or you can just look it up later and maybe prepare the meal for yourself later this week. I'm actually going to follow along on the iPad as well so that you can see the process of what it's like to cook with the Cooking Planit app in the kitchen. You can certainly use your laptop if that's what you have available, so you'll kind of see through this demonstration how Cooking Planit will help you prepare a full meal. So let's get started. So we're going to do bacon wrapped scallops, which are going to be seared really quickly and just delicious. We're going to do a walnut pesto orecchiette. Orecchiette is like ear-shaped pasta, but any short kind of tubular or curved pasta would be great just to help carry that pesto into your mouth. And then we're going to make a kale salad with balsamic syrup and some Parmesan and pine nuts. So the kale salad is really great nutrient boost. The walnuts are really great for you. So yeah, I mean, we got some bacon wrapped scallops. Maybe aren't the healthiest, but it's a quick dinner, so that everybody will love. The first thing that the instructions are telling me to do is prepare the walnut pesto, and that's kind of the interesting part of the choreography that you'll get used to the more you work with Cooking Planit, is we really have you prep everything before you get into the cook phase. And the reason for that is so you're prepared to be cooking multiple recipes at the same time, and you don't have to stop and chop or mix or that sort of thing. So you kind of do this mise en place approach, which is, you know, chef term for having everything ready and in its place. And then that way, once, no matter what recipes you pair together, you will be cooking and your ingredients will be prepared and ready and waiting for you. So it's sort of our way of helping you be organized in the kitchen so that you can move quickly when you need to. So it's great that we're going to get this walnut pesto out of the way. That way when I'm boiling the pasta noodles, I can be working on the scallops at the same time, and my pasta sauce is already ready to go. So it's telling me to prepare my food processor, so I have that ready to go. And I'm going to smash the garlic under the side of my chef's knife. Now this is a common term you'll come across in Cooking Planit. It's how I've instructed you to kind of prepare garlic, and literally I'm just taking one clove of garlic, putting it under my chef's knife flat, and then smashing down on it. It's a super, super easy way to remove the peel. And then I'm going to go next. And it tells me that I need to add a 1/3 cup of fresh parsley to the bowl, and also a 1/2 cup of pecorino cheese. Pecorino to me is just a little bit more has a little more bite, a little more salty flavor, nutty flavor than regular Parmesan, but Parmesan is very common, mostly used in regular pesto, so feel free to use that if that's what you have. You certainly don't need to run to the store for pecorino. And I'm also going to toss in the walnuts. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Not really much for measuring salt and pepper. I think it's just something you kind of get the feel for the more that you cook. So don't be intimidated by it, and just keep in mind you can always add more salt and pepper. You can't remove it, so I always just add a little bit, taste it, and if I feel like it needs a little more seasoning, then I can add a little bit more. And then I'm going to add in about 3 tablespoons here of olive oil. See, it's still like, it's crumbly. Super good. I can taste the garlic. I can taste the cheese. It has a nice texture, but still some crunch of the walnuts. That's going to be super good on the pasta. So, going next. Now it wants me to prepare the kale salad. So kale is super good for you, and I try to eat it as often as possible because I love it. To me, it's just much more interesting than an iceberg lettuce salad, or even more interesting to me than spinach. Kale happens to be dino kale, which is much flatter and kind of more narrow of a leaf. You can also find curly kale. They're really interchangeable. And you just want to, the stem is very rough, so you just kind of want to remove this, peel the leaves off of the stem and then discard the stem. And since this is going in a salad, I take the time to tear it into bite-sized pieces with my fingers, since I'm working with the leaves anyway. So now we're going to get into the cook mode. Basically, that was all the prep you saw. I made the walnut pesto, I made the kale salad, and now we have to cook our scallops and cook our pasta. So stay with me. So I finished wrapping all of my scallops with bacon. I tied all the twine around it, and I actually snipped off any of the long ends just so that it doesn't crowd the pan. They're not really a big deal, but it'll just get in the way. Also, in the meantime, the water for the pasta already started boiling, and the note here tells me to go ahead and add some salt and then stir in the pasta. Got that going. Pasta is now underway as well. And I'm going to hit next step here, and the timer will automatically start for me. So it tells me about 11 minutes on the orecchiette, and that timer is automatically set, so I don't even have to think about it now. It tells me to heat a large saute pan. Since I'm doing half batch on the scallops, I'm going to adjust that to a medium pan, so I have that here. And I'm going to heat it up over medium-high heat. So again, all of this information is right there on the screen. You don't even need me here, basically. Add a little bit of olive oil. And, I hate to admit it, but there's a little butter in this, along with the bacon. So, like I said, it's not necessarily healthy, but it is good. So, I'm just going to let the pan heat up, let the butter melt, let the oil heat. Anytime you're cooking, especially protein like this, you want your pan hot. And especially to get that really good sear and that really good caramelization, we want everything here to be really hot so that when we add it in, it just cooks really quickly. So, it may feel like it's taking a couple minutes, but you gotta let it do its thing. And once the butter is melted and hot, there we go. The minute I set it down, you can hear it sizzling. So I'm going to add all my scallops. Oh yeah, and you can smell the butter. So good. And this is kind of speaking back to what I was saying earlier regarding the prep phase, is that I just cooked my scallops, I've been cooking my pine nuts, and I've been cooking the pasta all at the same time. Didn't realize my spoon fell in there. So all of these things are happening, my attention is focused here, and everything else that needed to be prepped has already been prepped. So rather than doing stuff and then having to go back and chop or whatnot, we've kind of organized all that process for you. So I can focus on the stove and I don't have to worry about running all over the kitchen. Just continue to shake my pan on my pine nuts so that they don't burn. And this is telling me to check the orecchiette, and if it is tender with a slight bite, I can go ahead and strain it. So how good does that look? And if you look up the Crazy Quick recipe on the website, you'll see this is exactly how it all looks, and it'll be how it looks when you make it too. So I hope you'll try it out at home. And join us again next time when we do another video blog. Thanks for joining us.